It's the SawCast, where real niggas speak their real shit on real topics every day. And I go by the name of Steve.
And I'm
Oh!
Ariel. What the fuck you do, y'all? You know
Woo!
what it is. It's the SawCast. We're here every Tuesday at noon. And this week we just gonna get right into it. Since, like I said, we got a whole lot of topics. Since a week in between each show. Got a lot of things to talk about. I think today's gonna be like a real good topics day. You know what I'm saying? Mixed with some current events. So let's get it. Let's go. Number one. I think it's the Institute of Family Studies reported that men who get cheated on while they're married are 61% more likely. Well, 61% of men who get cheated on and while they're married stay, versus 44% of women who get cheated on while they're married stay. The question was just like a general question: why do you guys think, or why do we think that men stay and women don't? Steven.
Well, I think the biggest factor is the circumstances. Because a lot of times, they probably staying because they doing dirt themselves. So, as long as the dirt that she did isn't as substantial as the dirt that he did, then he'll accept her. I feel like we'd be more accepting on that. Because it's like, all right, most of the time we probably did something, whether that was ignore the woman or whether that was to step out on a woman that caused her to do that. So we be more logical. We're like, all right, you did that because I did this. So, all right, I'm gonna bring you back in. But the only thing is, I wonder, out of that 61%, is that what you said?
Yeah.
Out of that 61%, I just want to know how many of them still trust the same. Because I don't think the trust is going to be the same. I think the trust is tarnished. I wouldn't say tarnished, but for some people it probably would be. So then, my thing is, if I was to find out a woman was cheating on me, what I would probably do is, shit, we just in an open relationship now. If I still love the woman, I want to be with her. We in an open relationship now. We gotta draw stipulations to this. Cause if we both on some bullshit, then that means that, all right, well, we love each other, but not in this agreement. So what I would do is create another agreement. And I believe that that's probably what some of them do too, to make it work. Like, fuck it, if you love a person enough, but you just want to experience other sexual pleasures with another motherfucker, just create y'all an agreement. Don't tell nobody about it, because people be more judgmental. And yeah, that's just what I think.
Yeah.
That's just what I think.
I think that women cheat differently than men. I feel like men are, judging by statistics, like a little bit more disrespectful with it. Like a lot of time when men cheat in marriages, they be having kids. They be, you know, the other, when you cheat on a woman with another woman, the other woman is more likely to be boastful and like talk about it. You know, it's not necessarily kept in the dark. I feel like a lot of times when women cheat, it's a little bit differently. Like, you know, not a lot of people know. It's more so kept in the dark, more so like everybody's in aware. You know what I'm saying? And then I feel like men are more logical. So once you come up to them with with information to why you cheated, they can probably understand a little bit more. From a woman's perspective, we're a little bit more emotional. And I think that once you tell us that you cheated, we start to feel a whole lot of different type of emotions. And on top of that, I feel like we got a community of support. And I feel like it's more likely that if a woman gets divorced, that she can get remarried versus a man anyways. So if a man's been with a woman for a long time, it's in his best interest. Probably she might, you know what I'm saying, he's probably gonna be hard for him to get remarried. You know, he probably doesn't have that great of a community like the woman does, to where she doesn't have that much support and backing him up based off his decisions, and like being able to talk about it and, you know, reason with it and stuff like that. You know, it's just different. It's just two different worlds. So like I said, like I really think that it's because like women cheat a little bit differently than men. Like it's a little bit more taboo for women to cheat, and it's not like it's just out there. Men aren't like, if they mess with somebody else's wife, they're not as boastful about it and stuff like that, as some women are. It's kind of like disrespectful sometimes. So that might be like a little bit, some of the cases, not most of them, but I feel like, that encompasses a lot of why, men stay, Cool. Next. So next topic is, do kids crying on a plane bother you? There was a lady who had her kids on the plane. They were crying, and other people on the plane were getting annoyed, and that sparked a conversation on social media of whether or not kids should be allowed on planes, and if kids are fussy, should they? Okay, if kids are fussy, should the parents like prepare for that? So yeah, my first question is, when kids cry on the plane, does that bother you?
Keep them kids quiet, man. So, me particularly, I don't really get bothered by too much too often because I'm very sympathetic and empathetic of others. So but we all have our to an extent, As long as the time frame is cool, the child ain't, blabbing and blobbering and hollering the whole damn flight. So if the child ain't doing the most the whole flight, it's for like 10 minutes, while they get their diaper changed or while they get fed, while they get their food going. That's cool because I keep headphones in for the most part anyway, so it wouldn't probably bother me. But if the kid is in the seat right next to me, it's like 30 minutes. It's like, all right, what's going on? You feel me? You got the child? You good? You feel me? You need a little break or something? You feel me? But they should. And if you got a fussy child, you should know. You know what I'm saying? You should know your child be doing the most sometimes, so you got to get right with your child. You and your child got to have understanding, or you tire your child out before you get there, before y'all get there and everything. But like I said, the duration really matters most because I'm pretty much an understanding individual. But if the child is bliggering, blabbering, and hollering for too long, then I'll be like, all right, it is on the parent now because you know what to do to get your child to be quiet. So don't be taking your child on this flight and have them hollering the whole time.
Yeah. So mine is like, kids crying on the plane do bother me because I feel like it's because it's not a sound that I hear often. Like if you don't hear kids crying often, and I'm a person who doesn't have any kids, I don't like the sound of kids crying. So of course it's going to bother me. Like I said, flying is a luxury. A lot of people who have kids don't get to fly like that often. So people who don't have kids, or people who do have kids don't fly with their kids often. Like they'll leave their kids at home and they'll fly and do whatever they got to do business wise most of the time. So it's rare unless you on like a Disney flight where there's kids on the flight. And I've been on Disney flights. Like when I say Disney flights, I mean flights to Orlando, and the kids weren't necessarily that loud. Like I feel like parents majority of the time do a good job of keeping their kids quiet on the plane. But there are times where I feel like, if you do feel like you got a fussy child, you should do what you gotta do beforehand to make sure that child is not yelling and screaming and stuff like that. I feel like if you have a fussy child, period, you need to figure out why your child is fussy anyways. Like you gotta figure out what the problem is with your child. It doesn't matter if your child was crying for 2 hours at the crib. If they crying for 2 hours at the crib versus them crying on the plane, the child that cried for 2 hours. It don't matter where they at. You know what I'm saying? So let's figure out what the problem is with your child. And then, then let's take them on planes and do other things that involve other people. Like, maybe being on the plane gives them anxiety. Maybe, like Steven said, they're uncomfortable. Let's figure that out before you just keep throwing them on planes just because you want to go somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Because that's not cool. So at the end of the day, like, I feel like it's not an issue if I hear a kid crying on a plane. It is annoying as fuck. I'm not going to fucking lie. I do get annoyed. But if it goes too long, then I'm looking at the parents like they're crazy. Something's wrong with you as a parent to let your kid, or for your kid to be yelling that long. Something's not right. You just have to do what you got to do. There was a baby when I went to the Dominican Republic that me and my best friend loved. He was so sweet, and he cried probably like the last maybe 5 minutes of us being with him the whole entire day. That baby was quiet. That's because the parents, I feel like that looks like great on that parents. I'm like, his parents is doing the damn thing for them to have this little baby. We've been on an excursion all day in the sun and everything. His little butt ain't cried at all. Like, he cried at the end of the day. I mean, he's uncomfortable at this point. He been, what the hell, all day. He ain't cried at all. That look good on them. Like, at the end of the day, like, they know what they doing with their child, period. So that it's gonna look bad on you as a parent if your kid just yelling the whole time. Like, no, if I'm not gonna bring my dog, they bark crazy on the plane. Don't bring your child that just yelling and screaming and hollering on a plane for 2 hours if they're uncomfortable.
Keep the hoopla at home.
Best you could do. Next.
It's crazy.
There's multiple reports of people being shot after like going to people's houses, that like going to the wrong addresses and stuff like that. People are just the DoorDasher that went to the wrong house and got shot. There was a little kid that got killed because he went to the wrong house to look for his siblings. He went to go pick his siblings up and he went to the wrong house and he got shot and killed. So my question is that a gun issue or is that a human issue? Is that a result of human error on their parts because they went to the wrong address, or is it a result of people gun safety or gun control that we should enact? You know, what you think?
I feel like you have to, on the delivery / pickup in an area that's unfamiliar to you, you should proceed with caution anyway. Call whoever you are intending to reach that location to either get or deliver food to, or to pick up, you know, whatever you're doing, whether you're picking up somebody, whether you're delivering food, you know, whatever it may be, just make sure that you make a call. You know, be cautious, because I've DoorDashed before, and if I'm in an unfamiliar area, which all of this shit is new to me, this city, so I just call them up real quick, like, hey, you know, I'm here, I don't really see no addresses, can you help me out? You know, I know a lot of people just want to stick and move, but what's more important is that the communication. As long as you communicate, it puts you in a better standing. But then on the flip side, I do believe that it's a lot of trigger happiness going on out here because of the recent times. I feel like we're in, a lot of people had a lot of traumatic events happening to them within these last 2 or 3 years. Let's just be honest. So I feel like a lot of people are on edge because of that, and also with the addition of the push of violence in the news and just bad news, you know, the way that circulates over how the positive and the good news circulates. So it can have people more on edge. So it's more of that type of thing. And then also people just being trigger happy because whether they're on edge, whether they just a person ready to shoot a motherfucker because they stressed or whatever they got going on in life. But I do believe it's more trigger happiness going on because people are ready to defend themselves. They're on edge. They stress, whatever it may be. It's a lot of different factors that go into that. But if you are doing any type of car service, delivery, pickup, food service, whether it be family, friends, or the other, if you're in a neighborhood that you don't know whether it's a good or bad neighborhood, doesn't matter. Make sure you proceed with caution. Make sure you call people. Make sure you let them know that you're here. You know, turn your flashers on, blinkers, whatever it may be. And don't go into people's driveways. That's a thing that I try not to do either when I'm delivering food as a DoorDasher. I don't really go into people's driveways. I'm not really a person that goes into people's driveways anyway, unless I know them. So unfortunately, you have to proceed with caution a little bit more extra nowadays because people are more on edge. It's more of a traumatic time, and the trigger happiness is something that is an issue. So if you have a trigger, don't be so happy.
Cool. I feel like, so I think that it's definitely like an issue of where like we need to figure out how people can, you know, I don't know. I just feel like it's too much stuff in the media, and we always say media, and that media even goes to where you're communicating with people outside of your devices. Like, even if you looking at the newspaper or anything, talking to like your neighbor or something like that. Did you hear about Alex, blah blah blah? I've heard that from other people who don't even live where I live at the end of the day, just in conversation. So like, it's just like you're on more on edge, period. Like, one lady I was talking to when I was getting my nails done was just like, like she was like, I try not to even like, get attitudes with people or cut people off on the road or anything, because I don't know what people can do. That's how people's thinking are right now. So like, if you're coming onto somebody's porch, you're doing all this, and they hearing like you on their porch or something like that, they're automatically gonna be on edge. They might start shooting. You never know what type of mind state people are in at the time. You know what I'm saying? So my suggestion would be for people to, if they're doing stuff like this, to make sure that you're strapped as well. Like, make sure that you're aware, make sure that you're on your P's and Q's. You know what I'm saying? Make sure that you're making sure that you're putting the right stuff into like the GPS and all that. Like, make sure you're putting the right address in there. Make sure you're double checking that you're on the right street. Making sure that you do what you have to do so that if something happens to you, you can show that you did your best to not, something to not happen. So I would say that, like, at the end of the day, because I feel like once the evils in the world's in there, people are going to start shooting and stuff like that and get trigger happy. They just like that now. So you just got to make sure that you are on your P's and Q's. And I feel like our politicians and our government officials need to do what they need to do to make sure that they solve this issue where innocent people aren't dying, and innocent people don't feel like they have to kill another person or something just because they're nervous and they're on edge and they have high anxiety because of the things that are going on. Because if they didn't see all these issues and all these terrible things going on, or if they didn't Google how many mass shootings there was and seen so many, then they wouldn't feel the need to be on edge. Just like other countries, they don't feel the need to be on edge because they don't have all this stupid shit going on. So it's something that could be solved. It's something that could be mediated, and our politicians can do what the fuck they supposed to be doing and worry about that. That's my opinion. Next, Marcus Houston says he didn't want. We gonna briefly touch on this because I'm really over him. Period. I don't really give a fuck what he's talking about. But the only thing that I wanted to talk about more so is when he said that women that are his age, like 40, 30, past 30, 35, blah, 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 they come with baggage, which is why he went the route he went and got a woman that was younger, because she didn't have baggage. And I heard another man on another podcast say the same thing. Like, women who are a little bit older come with baggage, and that's why he wanted a woman that was younger. So my opinion on that is, everybody who's over a certain age, and when men say baggage, I'm thinking they mean like emotional trauma, and like you've already seen how men are, and you can read a man and see what he wants from you and all that stuff. Like, you're gonna base you have a lot more experiences or bad experiences. I think that's what men mean when they say baggage. I think they mean bad experiences. And you want to take those bad experiences and put them towards them. And that's not what they want. So what I say is, they have bad experiences too that they bring into a relationship and they put towards a woman, which is why they're trying to date somebody that's younger. So it's catch-22. Everybody gonna have more experiences when they get older. You know what I'm saying? And those bad experiences gonna try to deter them from what they want. Yeah, like a woman who sees a man who's looking for a younger woman and to marry and be with, yeah, she ain't gonna want him because she knows what type of man that is. You know what I'm saying? Vice versa. So you gonna come with stuff and the other person gonna come with stuff. But the point is to make sure that you are okay with dealing with their stuff, and they can deal with your stuff. Or y'all can deal, and that y'all willing to make sure that y'all continue to get help on the stuff that y'all need to work on. As long as y'all do that, y'all should be fine. But going out your way to find somebody who doesn't have any experiences for you to be their first experience is weird as fuck. And so that's my opinion on it.
Well, I would say that the baggage that women carry could have a much greater impact on a relationship and how they deal with the relationship and the man. Because a lot of our warrior mentality is we deal with the things when we deal with them. Sometimes women linger on things. You know, have you ever had a conversation with a woman you thought it was over? 2 months later, it's back again. That conversation was over for us. The conversation wasn't over for her.
Yeah, so, but that's because she's not dealt with it.
Right. You know? There might be some other it that she ain't dealt with, relationship trauma.
And vice versa. You don't think men bring up stuff?
True, yeah, but it's more of an attachment to the woman. In the men's, for what most of us see, you know, it's more of an attachment. So when she has additionals, you know, then it'd be like, then she got kids too, because then once a mother has kids, that affects the time that y'all get. Then the kids have to be a priority, and then and then the kids have to be a priority. That's not a bad thing, but it takes away from the time that y'all have, and it does complicate what you have together. Because men, we want to roam a little bit more freely, but women don't have that option when they have other things, like when they have kids and things of that nature. You know, so I believe, we all do have baggage, but some of women's baggage is attached to them more obviously than the men's baggage, because you kind of have to figure out the men's baggage. You can kind of just know the woman's just by, you know, having a conversation, or just by, you know, just, oh, you have kids, you got this, you got that, you know what comes with having kids. And then it's like a relationship that you have to have with, if she got a baby daddy, or if she got multiple baby daddies, and then you like, it creates more conflict than it would to be if a man was just coming in and a woman just doesn't have that, you know what I'm saying, or doesn't have trauma in her past, like a bunch of bad relationships, you know. So I understand what they say on that, and that is one of the reasons why men do be attracted to younger women a lot of the times. And then it could be just sometimes for men, like, it's just an appreciation, because since you have more experiences, women have more experience. What a man brings and what he does for them isn't as appreciated as it would be with a younger woman that has less experience. You know, I'm not saying too young. You know, don't go too young. Don't ever go creepy young. But as a man, what you have to offer does seem like more to a woman that's new to the resources that you have. You know what I'm saying? Because a woman ain't used to messing with. That's why women be wondering why y'all get a man y'all think is out of y'all league, because he know that you're gonna appreciate the resources that he have more than the women that he might be dating right now. So, but yeah, so I do believe everybody comes with baggage. Some of that baggage depends on the male and the female. But it's just all things that you have to work out. If you have a conversation, I believe it's worth it with the right person, you know. But know how much baggage you willing to claim, and you ain't. Because you might have to leave some of that baggage. If she got too much baggage for you, brother, if she got too much baggage, she might not be the right baggage.
And there's a new procedure out that is allowing men to lengthen their legs. There's a lot of men who are starting to get it. You put on here at 6 inches up to 6 inches in height.
Yeah.
Shit, the ones that I've been seeing, they was only adding like 2 to 3 inches to their height.
Yeah, they was at, the majority of them adds 2, but it can go up to 6.
Yeah. So my question is this a procedure that you think is necessary, or, you know, what do you think about it? I'll go first, since I'm gonna let you go first. I'll say that it's giving cosmetic surgery, but worse. Because, like, I've seen somebody have a leg injury and, like, trying to, like, get that person to walk again and all that. It looks like, from what I'm seeing, they're going through, like, that entire process of starting to walk again and all that for 2 to 3 inches worth of height. Like, I understand that it builds confidence, but, you know, to be honest, like, I'm a person who isn't, like for cosmetic surgery or anything. I will say I did get a breast reduction, but to be real, I was cool with the way my breasts looked. It was more so like my back was hurting like a motherfucker, so that's why I got it. But if my back wasn't hurting, I would have still had them. You know what I'm saying? So like, I don't feel like you should change yourself at all. If you do, I'm not tripping. I don't really give a fuck. But it's more so like you're putting yourself through all that. You damn near can't even walk so that you can be 2 inches taller. So you really ain't. You still kind of short. If you was a short nigga before, if you was 5'6" before, you're gonna be 5'8" now. You're not even that much taller. Why are you going through all that to be short still? It don't make sense to me. I just feel like it's just that's outrageous, and I just feel like that's crazy, and I just feel bad that you feel like you got to do that. Like, just be a masculine. Well, you ain't gotta be masculine. You just be a confident person. Just be a confident person. And like, people are gonna like you. It doesn't matter how tall you are. You can be the tallest bitch if you're a confident ass nigga that's 5'5". Like, you don't have to be tall. Like, y'all, I can tell y'all online. Like, you obviously, if you a nigga who got this, or a person in general who got this, you're online getting your information from people online, because in the real world, everybody dating everybody. It don't matter about height and all that, and size and weight, none of that. None of that in the real world matters. So obviously you need to get your ass offline for a little minute. If you think that you can't get bitches because you're short, you need to get your ass offline and get into the field. That's my take on it. What you think, Steve?
Well, I think that this is a part of new society. You know, anything for... I feel like we take the shortcut now instead of addressing the real problem. So the real problem is you probably got self-esteem issues because you're short. All right. Well, problem is you ain't dating women short enough to make you feel taller.
I'm telling you.
That's the problem.
I'm telling you.
So either date shorter women,
which they out here,
or just be like, all right, I ain't 6 feet. Oh fucking well, who cares? I don't really fucking know, cause I say that shit. You know, even me. You know what I'm saying? I'm one of them short motherfuckers and ain't super short. You know, I'm 5'8", so it's like, you short? Yeah, but I walk like I'm 6 feet, bitch. Don't you ever think different? So, but I've always gotten attention on me. So look, real niggas recognize the real. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
might be
that is not fucking bad.
I might be short, but I'm a giant. You feel me?
Right.
But I think that's the thing, though. Everybody get so trapped and so caught up.
You don't like, you think niggas don't like chunky bitches?
They capping.
Capping. Cappuccino. Niggas ain't getting hoes.
Look, that shit's a lie. A lot of this shit's a lie. A lot of this shit's a cap. A lot of this shit is a facade. You know what I'm saying? A lot of this shit is a facade. So
look at the baby moms y'all rappers really got.
What
they fake got.
What I tell y'all like this. You know, this is one of those where you just sometimes get off the media for a little minute. I feel okay. Since we're in a new society, let's create a new thing. Media breaks, phone breaks. Like that's need to be implemented. I feel like that's an issue that a lot of us have, a lot of us go through. Let's implement that. And maybe it be for 3 hours a day. Maybe it be for an hour a day. Where
so you think
something.
That they getting that because they online too much?
Yeah,
basically that's what you're saying. So you're trying to mediate a situation. You're saying get your ass offline, basically.
Yeah, you online too much. So what you need to do is go have some social interaction. You know?
I think that for like even women who get a lot of plastic surgery and things like that, they online too much because that shit like
It's a comparison.
It's a comparison. Like for you to look at yourself and think you're not beautiful, you need something that you saw. Because plastic surgery, that type of plastic surgery, you're obviously saw somebody else get it and you was like, oh, I want that body. You know what I'm saying? Like you're getting a picture and giving it to somebody, to your surgeon, like, I want to look like this. That's mentally unstable. Like at the end of the day, like you need to get your ass offline and figure out what makes you happy. Like you're basically saying, like,
Yeah.
You trying to make y'all take steps.
Yeah, I'm trying to get y'all to follow the recipe because really,
adding 2 inches to your height. At least bitches with BBLs, they changing their whole body. They do look totally different body wise. Niggas who getting that shit on their legs, you only get 2 inches taller.
And
you're not really about to pull no different bitches. If you 5'6", niggas that's 5'6" and 5'8" pulling the same bitches.
Really, look, the recovery time is lengthy.
Oh, it is what it is.
It costs roughly altogether about $100K.
100 racks for 2 inches.
You got possible nerve damage, and you can even have the loss of a range of motion.
You're gonna have nerve damage
for 2 inches of height.
Like I have breast reduction, and you're going to have nerve damage anytime you get surgery because you're cutting some of the nerves. You have to in order for you to do surgery.
Shit's insane. It's not worth it.
Why would you do that?
You know, don't do it. You know, hey, whatever you're born as, I believe this. You know, whatever you're born as, whatever you're born like, make sure that you like it. Like I say, if it's just certain things, you know, everybody wanna smile or you wanna lose weight. Some things like that, okay, cool. Once we get to going too far, like lengthening our heights and all of this extra nonsense that people get into, I feel like that's a self-esteem thing where you could just address that fully in the mirror by, you know, telling yourself that you love yourself, and then by going and touch grass, as they say. You know, going outside, getting some social interaction. Maybe you've been on your phone too much. Now your mind is twisted. Your mind is not in reality. It's in virtual reality, which is fake, which is unreal. You know what I'm saying? So do something real. Go interact with some real people, and you'll be surprised how many people might like you as you are.
Right. Because you got to think, a lot of these motherfuckers who's online all the time are miserable as fuck, which is why they keep having to open up their phones to find some type of happiness, get some type of endorphin, some energy in them. So, like, the real fat happy people ain't even online like that. So go find them. And they happy, but they don't even care. Like, a lot of people, like, the happiest people don't even give a fuck what they look like. You know what I'm saying? So, like, if you worry about what you look like and how tall you are, you definitely basing it off of some dumb shit. Because at the end of the day, I think the average man like 5'8" or something like that. So it's like, nigga, the average dude is your height. So it's like, why the fuck? And so bitches are fucking with niggas. Like bitches are fucking with dudes your height. Because the average dude's your height. So what are we saying here? Like, stop playing. Get out here and see it. Next. So Gilly, he talked about this on his show, Gilly the Kid, and basically he said that he tested his woman when they first got together. He took her out to a nice restaurant. They ordered a whole bunch of stuff. She paid because he acted like he didn't have his wallet. Then as soon as they got home, he gave her $400. It was like, you real ass bitch because you paid for the food. And then she went to jail for him. She never complained when she locked up for 10 days. He took all the charges, but she was in jail for like 10 days, he said. But he ended up taking all the charges, and she never complained about being locked up for them 10 days. So my question is, do you think a test need to be had? You know, do you think you need to test somebody in order for you to, before you start a relationship with them or start looking for something serious in somebody?
I believe that some people do need to be tested. Okay. And I believe if you have a certain profession, you do need to do tests more regularly than your average person. Mm-hmm. Now, also, if that's your preference, to have a person on their toes, whether you're a man or a woman, you want that person that you with to always be on their toes, and not just on their feet, but on their heels and their toes at the same time. You know, be all around. If you want that motherfucker to be like that, you want to give them some tests, by all means, keep testing that motherfucker like a teacher. You hear me? But what I'm saying is, most people there show you who they are, so a test is not even needed. You know what I'm saying? But I will say this: if you're a hustler, you might have to test your shorties because your trust is gonna be on a different level. So if you're a hustler and you're getting certain money, you come around a lot of different women, whether they be look good, you know, a lot of good-looking women with different intentions. So you're probably testing her to see what her intentions are. Yeah, if you need that ride or die, and you in a certain profession, Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? Like the street pharmacists out there. You might have to test your lady because it's gonna be a lot of ebbs and flows in how your relationship goes. You know what I'm saying? So you probably have to take her through more tests than a 9 to 5 like me. I'm an IT analyst. I ain't gotta take my woman through really as many tests as she gonna show me. You feel me? She gonna show me who she truly is and reveal herself. You dig?
So I feel like men who I don't like when men try to test me and try to figure out who I am. I rather like situations happen and then us, you know, you see who I am. But at the end of the day, I feel like men need to start like paying attention to what the women is saying, like how they talking and stuff like that, and then try to figure out who the woman is based off of that. I know like in the beginning, some women try to talk like they something and they not, basically trying to say who she is to fit what she think you probably will like and vice versa. But I feel like you can tell a real person outside, like if you're really a good person and you're really like, okay, like let's say you're a really entrepreneur, the type, if she's like, I'm an entrepreneur too, if she start ask her about certain shit, you know what I'm saying, I guess that's kind of still a test, but it's more so to me like a conversation and figuring out what she is, instead of being like, oh, I'm gonna take you on a date and I'm gonna see if you pay, and if you pay, you a real bitch. Like, fuck that shit. Like, at the end of the day, like, what you mean? Like, you gonna take me on a date, then I gotta pay you, see if I'm a real bitch. At the end of the day, like, you can tell, you go on the bitch LinkedIn and everything to see if the bitch really got a job or not. Like, you can really see if motherfuckers got a job or not. If a motherfucker work for the government, you can go online and see how much they make. Tip for you niggas. So at the end of the day, you can see if they really doing something. So, you know what I'm saying? You can tell as a man how a woman is, you know, how a woman is moving, what she got. You should be able to tell by where you drop her off at, where you pick her up at, what type of phone she got, what her hair look like. You can just tell like what she talking about, how intellectual she is, what she's doing with herself. All that should be a, you know, something that you can tell what type of person she is. But like testing them and taking them out, because at the end of the day, if you gilly the kid and you forgot your wallet, then I know you got it. Like, it don't matter if you know what I'm saying, if you like, oh, I forgot my wallet at the crib, trying to see if you gonna pay for it. Now, nigga, I know you got it, nigga. You ain't, what? I know you got the money. So, like, that wasn't even a good test to me. And then for her not to complain, she's crazy anyway. Like, she's a real ass bitch for sure. But something ain't right for her to be not to complain, and she was locked up for 10 days. I'm complaining. But that's why, you know what I'm saying? That's where he gonna find out, oh, she not gonna complain, and you know, I wanna be sitting there complaining, you know. I'm not like, some of that shit is crazy to me. Like, so yeah, like I feel like there's other ways for you to figure out somebody is who they talking about versus like testing niggas all the time, because at the end of the day, some people can see through your test. Women are way smarter than which I think they are now, especially. So they can see through that shit. And they can play into that shit. Some of them can play into that shit and still get over your ass. You know what I'm saying? But then a lot of women like me who got their shit together and who got, you know, their own income and stuff, don't feel like being tested and just will stop fucking with you. Now you ain't got nothing. Now you fucking with these other bitches. You only gonna have certain bitches left to fuck with if you keep testing bitches, because that shit's annoying. And it's obvious when y'all do it. A lot of y'all ain't even that goddamn smart.
Maybe they want it like that then.
But
maybe that's a part of their test.
I guess it is.
So we y'all give a fuckers in the
we
fuckers.
Fuck ye.
Jeez.
Cause what the fuck? Don't test me. Test your mamas. You ain't your daddy didn't test your mom, but that's probably why, you know, that's probably why you want to test, because you know motherfuckers in your life want testing and they got where they, I don't know. Don't test me. Niggas be really trying to test people out.
She feel personal.
Cause they be trying to test you, and I'm like, what is this? Is this a test? The nigga was like, was you buy me something? And it's like, huh? Like if I'm in the club, like motherfucker, if we in the club and like if we in a club and I see a nigga that's fine, I ain't gonna say shit to him, cause that's the type of bitch I am. I'm just gonna be like, oh, it's a fine nigga in my head, keep moving. If he don't say nothing to me, I'm not gonna say nothing to him. I'm not buying no nigga no drink. Like, you ain't gonna do nothing for another nigga, so you wanna do nothing for a nigga, so you might gonna do nothing for me. Like, no, nigga, that's not a good test. Like, see what type of person I am. Am I a giving person? Then I'm going to give to whoever's around me. It don't matter. You know what I'm saying? But am I also a traditional woman? Yeah, like in the club, I feel like women don't supposed to be buying niggas drinks. That's just how I think. Because I'm a traditional woman. But as far as like if we was in a relationship, I had a family, I'm going to provide for everybody. I'm going to help everybody. We all going to be happy. The fuck? That's why I'm saying niggas is dumb. Next. Joe Biden. Is it $42 billion student loan forgiveness plans went through? Mm-hmm. That is like the student loan forgiveness plans is. I think they already had the public service program. Basically, if you do like a government job or you have a non-for-profit or something like that, you operate for 10 years, you can get your student loans completely forgiven. But you would have to make 120 payments. And you can't pay, like, you gotta pay them on time and stuff like that. But I think that was already something they was already doing. I think Obama did it, but that was already something that was in effect. But that's still in effect. So, like, if you do want to get your student loans taken care of, you pay your payments, 120 payments, which is 10 years if you do month to month, then your loans will be completely forgiven. I believe that includes his student loan forgiveness program. Includes the $20,000 that he was supposed to forgive if you have federal loans as well. Do you feel like this was a good thing, or how do you feel about it?
I feel like this election's coming up.
Yeah.
So you gotta get reelected somehow. So you mean to tell me that this funky motherfucker then drug out this goddamn student loan shit for his whole first term, for his whole only term, and then trying to regurgitate it back up again? $42 billion student loan forgiveness plan. I heard it before. It ain't no motion in motion. What I will say though, I'm gonna be grateful and appreciative that he's paused the loans, so we ain't gotta get no additional accrued interest. That's the best thing he did as far as student loan forgiveness for players like me who wasn't trying to pay or get taxed for not paying on that shit. You know what I'm saying? So that's something good that he did. But as far as this, I'm unimpressed unless you about to really move and about to really make a difference. But it's always stipulations to this. You know, they say they're gonna move, they're gonna make a difference, but then they get this, we got this population and this much of the population gets the benefit. But they put it out to that much of the population to make them think, oh, you could have just been a little closer. You know, if you would have just, no, it's not impressive to me. He keeps saying the same thing. That's one of his leading things. It's tired. It's over. If you're not going to do nothing immediately for a mass majority of people, shut the fuck up. I'm not caring anymore. I'm done with it. I'm over it. Your $42 billion, what the fuck? Y'all gave $75 billion in aid to Ukraine, which was substantially more than anybody else. And a financial part of that was a big part of that. At least 30 to 40% of that money that's in aid that you gave them was financial. So come on now, 30 or 40% of 75 or over 75, maybe a little bit 42-ish, similar to what that is. I mean, and y'all just saying $42 billion, what would that be, over a 4-year span or something? So you can get reelected and say the same thing again. I don't want to hear it, buddy. I just want the next person to keep pausing them loans like you did, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'll say that for niggas like me who got grad degrees and like doctorate, like I know some people above me who got doctorates and all that. This is not gonna be a big chunk of our, student loans to care. And I feel like, there should have been something done for us in particular, because we're the people who are bringing like generations of people out of poverty and not being reliant on the government, you know what I'm saying? And we're paying like the most taxes because when you have these advanced degrees, you get paid a little bit more than everybody else but you're also still helping other people because a lot of times you are the first person to do that in your family. So, like, I feel like there should have been some consideration to those people who, you know, are changing America and changing their communities based off of them being motivated to do other things, and, like, you know, not letting all of the other things that society can put in your way prevent them from accelerating and trying to change their family lives. I feel like that's definitely something that should have been taken into consideration, because at the end of the day, we were told that our student loans were going to be forgiven. We didn't say, nobody told us that only a portion was going to be forgiven. And yeah, I'm okay. I'm happy that a lot of people get to, you know, be free, debt free, because to be real, like, if you went to college for a year and didn't really like it, you shouldn't still be paying student loans. You know what I'm saying? So the fact that those people can be free and do what they want to do, that's cool. But at the end of the day, they're not as ambitious, to be real, as the people who went further and finished their bachelors, you know what I'm saying, which is difficult, go to masters, get their masters, all that. The people who really got who got degrees like bachelors, people who got grads and doctorates, those people are changing their families' lives, you know what I'm saying, and helping their family. So I feel like those people should be taken consideration, like I said. So it's cool. It's a good start. I mean, like Steven said, we need to see some motion before we really going somewhere with it. At the end of the day, it ain't what we was promised, to be real. It's not what we was promised. We wasn't promised 20,000. We was promised all. So that's what we was looking for, and that's not what we got. So we voted for that. We didn't get it, so we still shitty. You know what I'm saying? Then all this other shit going on. And now it's looking like, you know, motherfuckers can't even buy no houses. We can't, like, the people who did do all this to change their families can't buy houses. Motherfuckers can't afford it. We don't even feel like we can afford to have kids. Some of us don't. Like, it's not, it's like we did all of this to push the government forward. We're still paying taxes. We're still doing what we have to do, but we're not getting anything in return, no help or no assistance, because at the end of the day, once you make a certain amount, you don't get no assistance from the government. You know what I'm saying? So it's honestly, it's kind of like, oh, we got a little help, we got a little relief, but at the end of the day, it's not that big of a relief for how much that we're contributing to the country. So I just don't know if that's going to, I know he got that passed, and I don't think that that's going to sway anybody to vote for him, especially based off of everything else that's going on. So yeah, I would say maybe he need to push the loan payments back or something. I don't know. He need to do something. He might have to, I don't know what he gonna do, but this ain't gonna be enough for some people to want to vote for him. And it's gonna be a lot of people who he needs to vote for him it's not affected. So I'm gonna say good luck to him, but he need to do something else. Like, he need to offer more something other than that. Like, if you was proposed all, you got a piece.
Tell his ass, bomb for your life and shit.
Yeah, it's looking like it's looking ugly for him to stay in office. If anybody can do better than him, they're gonna be president, unfortunately, because he didn't do anything he said he was gonna do, and the economy's looking bad right now.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's the SawCast, baby.
But it's the SawCast.
Yeah, and thank you guys for coming in, listening to us.
Share, subscribe, repost, tell your mama, tell your friends, tell your mama's friend.
And like, we really appreciate y'all coming back week after every 2 weeks, every 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying?
I know we talk about the kids and shit too, though. Shout out to everybody who kids.
Oh yeah, we support the single parents over here at the SawCast. We love single parents at the SawCast. We fuck with the single dads. You know what I'm talking about? We fuck with the single dads. We fuck with the single mamas. We fuck with y'all.
We fuck with y'all. We fuck with the singles
We love.
too.
We like
the singles that be out there lying on the butt.
We like it.
We see y'all in 2 weeks.
All right, thank y'all. See you.
Peace.